Alright, this is my cunt coming at you again. Another couple of quick videos I'm going to upload today, or I hope they're going to be quick, but I'm sure I'm going to digress onto bullshit, so they'll probably be 15 minutes each. Anyway, let's try and keep this first one quick. Yeah, as you can see today, I'm sunbathing in the park in October, which is amazing, isn't it? Is it cause for concern? I mean, look, I've just walked over here and I am, to be honest with you, an abnormally sweaty person, so I've had to take my top off to cool down a little bit and just, you know, it's as we British lads do, you know, get our chests out at even a hint of sunshine. I need a little handkerchief tied on my head, isn't it? But no, yeah, so that's one reason. But the other thing is that it's abnormally hot for October. It really is, and it has been this way for a week or two now. Now, you know, I don't know, you haven't seen me address climate change in these videos yet. Well, actually, nobody has seen me address anything in these videos because they still haven't been watched by anyone, even with like the 9/11 tags and what else, I don't know. My tagging's not very good. I don't post them anywhere myself, so what can I expect? But I think one day people will watch them, so that's why I continue to make them. Anyway, that's the subject for the next video. This was just going to be a quick one about climate change because it's so fucking hot today. So I just wanted to do it quickly, and yeah, that's it basically. But yeah, I'm not actually talking about climate change because the thing is, I don't really believe that it's as much of an issue as is implied by, you know, all the people that walk the walk. That's what I'm going to tag this, walk the walk. See who fucking watches it then. Yeah, I don't really believe it. I mean, it is a problem, of course it's a problem, and I totally think that we're fucking up our environment, you know, in the pursuit of profit. But again, we come back to the main crux of the issue. It's all about the profit. Now, the universe, the sun, the moon, the stars, they're so much bigger and more powerful than us, and you know, I think they can sort themselves out. I think the effect that we're having on kind of like the universe is so minute, really. With this planet where we're living, I think maybe, yeah, we're causing unnecessary problems, and you know, it is all, there is going to be a chain of cause and effect that ultimately may destroy us. But it's so far away, and it's part of natural process, and I think, as I say, you know, if we just kind of, I think it will sort itself out if we keep you know, if we remain aware of it and try to you know, limit our consumption. But the main point that I'm making, the point that I'd like to make, if I am capable of making any sort of point about this, is that you see how many people were out marching around the world and about climate change, and that is really, you know, a great thing to see people uniting and making a stand. But the reason that there were so many people out is because it was on the news and things like that, and it was like, hey, this march is happening tomorrow, and like, you know, the likes of Mr. Brand even put up an advert on his, which I've never seen him do before. He certainly didn't do that before the austerity performance, the anti-austerity rally, you know. But for this one, I mean, this one was on the news and everything. Climate change march tomorrow, you know, 'cause this is what you're allowed to protest about, you know. This is what's like given to you to make you think that you can make a difference and to make you think that your voice is being heard. But if any march is about capitalism or anything like that, you ain't going to see that on the news, right? Because they don't want people to cotton on to the idea that it's all down to the bottom line, you know. All of these things, for me, protesting against fracking, you know, it's protesting, you know, against whatever they protest against, you know, climate change, global warming, CFC emissions. You can hear, obviously I'm not an expert on it, as I'm an expert on very little really, apart from being human, which I'm good at, I think, because I've done it all my life. So it's the same as you. All of those things are distraction, you know, and you know, you wouldn't find me necessarily at a fracking protest. I mean, you wouldn't find me at many protests because I'm just a cunt, basically, and you know, I give up too easily, I think. You know, but I started hanging out with some protest people. I said this before in a video, of a particularly famous group actually, and I realised that they're not really in it to change anything. They're just in it to look like you can change things. They've got something big coming up this month actually, and I'm gonna have a look, I think, but we'll see. Anyway, I could have been involved in planning it, but in the end I just thought, you know what, this is gonna be to no effect. They're clearly not serious about this. I'm perhaps more serious than I, because they're making some effort, but no, I just think the protest movement in general, you know, the likes of, you know, Occupy, Uncut, whichever other groups there are, these are kind of the ones that you're given and the ones that you're allowed to know about, and because they're the ones that are basically just part of the system. It's like democracy itself is just a system purely designed to create the illusion that we have a choice, that we're able to participate in a valid and effective way, and of course it's not really the case, and you know, now and again we get this kind of opportunity to like protest again about climate change or fracking, you know, or tax avoidance. It's another good one that's getting popular. You know, these things are just distraction, because you know, the root cause of it all is the monetary system, and tax avoidance is a great example of why protesting against it is just bullshit, because it basically makes the assumption that we should pay taxes, which is not true in the first place. You know, taxes are basically legalised theft, and just a great way of the government taking pretty much half your earnings, a quarter to a half of your earnings, unless you earn so little that it's fucking, you can't do anything with it anyway. Just another way to control people, you know. You know, and like big companies are able to avoid taxes because the system is designed for them to do that. It's like pointless to protest against the thing that the system is designed to do, really. You just need to throw out the entire fucking system, and the entire system that needs to be thrown out is money, because we don't need it, because we're more intelligent than that, we're more sensitive than that, we've got abilities and skills in the world. It was something really useful that helped us along our way to get us to the point of civilization that we are at today, but we don't need it anymore, and I hope we're going to realise that. I mean, if I can see it so clearly, you know, and if I can see the manipulation that we're being subjected to so clearly, just throwing a quick one here as well about ISIS. I'll put that in the tag as well, but we'll see if anyone watches it. Yeah, I mean, now you've got it's just the whole thing of, you know, or there's British terrorists, they're being radicalised, you know, there's 15-year-old girls going over there to fight, you know. I really find that very difficult to believe, and but you know, the evidence is suddenly given to us, and there's almost too much evidence, isn't there? You know, it's like an orgy of evidence, they might say. In fact, they're making videos of it themselves, cutting people's heads off and putting them, sending them to TV stations, and I don't know, the production values in those videos just look a bit, you know, a bit iffy to me, as in the production values are good, and I'm not sure. I mean, I know it doesn't take much, but I just get a feeling, you know, I just got a sense that this is all fake and this is all part of a plan, and we're just being manipulated, and that's what I think, and I think a lot of people think that as well, but you'll never see that on the news, you'll never read that in the newspaper, and it'll just be fucking dickheads like me saying it on YouTube and nobody watching it, even people that believe it. I mean, I wouldn't watch this probably, is the thing. You know, you watch some shit on YouTube. What did I see the other day? just stupid things, man. People talking about computer games and that, getting thousands of views. You know, there was the biggest slut ever on Jezza. That was a good one. Biggest slut ever on Jezza is Jeremy Kyle. Actually, it's a guilty pleasure sometimes to watch Jeremy Kyle stuff. And it was like 2 million views by a guy called Vince NF, and all his stuff, NF as in National Front, and all his stuff's about fucking Hitler and that on there. You know, I mean, interesting stuff, some of it actually. Again, it's another important thing. I think the historical accounts of anything are worth it's worth looking at alternative perspectives, and he's got some stuff about the Holocaust and that, which is pretty dodgy ground to get into, really. I don't want to give any clear opinions about that because I don't want to be labelled anti-Semitic, because that's coming back now. I mean, as I may have mentioned before, that everything moves in cycles, and we've had an Iraq war and an Afghanistan war, you know, in the 80s, and we're having them again in the 90s. In the 30s and 20s to 40s, it was, you know, against Germany. In the middle of all that, 60s to like 80s, 90s, we had the Cold War with Russia. That's about to start again as well. So we're just kind of being suspended in perpetual animation. Is that a good expression? I'm not sure, but we're just being totally, you know, our true capability, our true functionality is just being hidden from us. We're brainwashed by the media, we're in a constant state of fear, we're always on the edge of war, and people keep making money, and we think making money is the only important thing in life. Yeah, and getting back to the point, you see, I've digressed to 12 minutes now. This was going to be a quick one. But anyway, I think I've been quite interesting today, so I hope someone will watch it. Yeah, I was going to say I would never watch this, really, after the, you know, 12, I'd look at that, 12 minutes and be like, nah. But people watch it. As I say, I was talking Vince NF channel, he's got a lot of viewers. You know, a lad, there was 2 million views or something on the Jeremy Kyle video. I think I already said that. And a lad, you know, doing different accents, like, had like 20 million views or something, and just people doing pranks and shit. I mean, I don't see why people can't watch this, actually, but I do acknowledge that probably I wouldn't watch it, because I know I'm a bit monotone and I'm rambling now. I mean, I don't know what subject I'm talking about now, even, to be honest. It started off as climate change, didn't it? But climate change is a distraction, and the distraction, yeah, is just to make sure that we don't realise the true problem is profit and the monetary system, because nobody would be fracking, and nobody would, you know, be using fossil fuels. Nobody would be doing any of these things if not for the monetary gain. Now the cost is also a reason why we can't use, a reason presented to us as the reason why we can't use renewable energy like wind power and solar power. I mean, look, there's the sun up there, maybe you can see it through the clouds, you know, that's got enough energy to fucking give us all the power that we need. And the wind, you know, in the upper atmosphere, they could harvest that wind using you know, like fans that are suspended in the air. They could do it, don't ask me to explain how, but they could definitely do it, and all of this would give us all the power that we ever need, and that's the bottom line. But they won't do it because there's, you know, they want to rinse the profit out of fossil fuels before that market dries up, basically. So it's all about profit. Pretty much everything bad in the world is as a result of profit, except for violent crime. But violent crime, you know, that often stems from frustration, dissatisfaction, which again stems from lack of money and lack of opportunity and things like that. And yeah, I hope I've made a point among all that. It wasn't, hardly any of it was what I wanted to speak about, but yeah, I spoke about it anyway. Now who's listening? That is the question.